Microphone check 1 2. Hope everybody's doing well. My name is Josiah with the All Things Performance Podcast. We're doing something a little bit different this year. As you maybe have heard on the preseason podcast, I have a co-host this year, Derek Devine, my good friend, my brother, my teammate, my brother in the Lord. We're gonna be doing it up, man, this year, man. How you living today, man? How you living? How you live?
I'm loving it, man. I'm loving life. Season 3 kickoff. Let's go.
That's right, man. That's right. One of the things that I'm excited about are the experts that we're going to have this year. We're going to have a lot of experts this year, doctors, athletes from all walks of life, businessmen and women, other professionals, just putting together this thing, all things performance, right? So when you look at performance, many people, they throw the word around a lot. Right?
Oh, yeah.
No, high performance mini camp, performance this, performance that, you know what I mean? But we're going to
endure.
Yeah, and so it's one of those things where we're going to put some meat on the bone. When you look at performance is the execution of a specific task or function, right? How does something, run faster, jump higher, think quicker, react quicker, and putting those things together, whether it's neuromechanically, whether it's psychologically, whether it's, with your faith, whether it's, physically, whatever it is, we're going to put that together, man. How's that sound?
I'm with that.
That's what's up, man.
Yeah.
So, again, we're going to be, fleshing this out a lot more as we get going. But Derek and I have been friends for 20 years. So you'll notice that we have good chemistry. We joke a lot. We have fun a lot. We got to keep it light. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And it's one of those things where we want to, add a lot of meat on the bone from subjects that athletes deal with, but are applicable to all walks of life.
Yeah, we want anybody to be able to watch this and get something from it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's, for me, it's like that's what I want to be able to do.
Yeah.
Because I don't want this to just all of a sudden just, I can't watch that or listen to that anymore because I'm not playing sports.
Yeah.
I want this to be able to be productive in your marriage, raising kids.
Yeah.
If you're just trying to go to the gym 3 times a week and get something out of it, anything, So
No doubt.
That's what I want to accomplish with this is production in everybody.
Yeah, let's go, man. Let's go.
Yeah.
So one of the topics that has been, front and center lately, I've seen it a lot in the world of sports. You as an athlete that we've all dealt with is identity, right? Performance and identity.
Yeah.
And so many athletes think that, because I played well, because, I had a great game, a great performance, that must mean I'm a great person.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And that's not true.
Whole mood's based off of like my whole week is going to be based off of what I do on Sunday.
And my mess around be my month. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh, depending on what that day, what might happen.
If you got burnt for 6 touchdowns, it might take you a while to recover. You know what I'm saying?
Or it might take you a while to find another squad.
You know what I'm saying? If you gave up, a game-winning homer, or if you couldn't hit the one free throw that would have put your team in the playoffs. I mean, there's going to be a lot of people who are going to be able to connect the dots here. And just because you perform poorly doesn't mean you're a bad person. And just because you perform, tremendously doesn't mean you're a good person either. You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's one that's like nobody really hits on that.
Yeah.
We're always trying to get somebody to believe like, no, it's okay. When it's like, hey, you had a bad game. It's all right. Let's move on.
Yeah.
When really it's like, that's another end we should be talking about. Just because you're good doesn't mean you're good.
Yeah. A good person. Yeah. Because we've all been around those cats that were highly talented.
Yeah.
But they were just like not good people. You know what I'm saying?
Also highly dysfunctional.
Yeah. Highly dysfunctional. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So as it relates to today, there's some common themes and some common questions that people have asked and that we want to address today. So before we get into it, man, what are some of your initial thoughts on performance, identity from a leadership standpoint? What are some of your thoughts on that?
For me, it's, I hit because when I was playing, that's where it was. It was like, it would even get down to how you practice.
Yeah.
How the workout goes, how you felt for that afternoon. And then it would always carry into the next one, like today needs to be a good day because yesterday wasn't.
Yeah,
and there's
that
always
carryover.
It's always a carryover.
Yeah.
What was your? Coaches would always bring that up. We had a terrible week of practice.
Yeah.
y'all better show up on, and that's, it was that's
hey,
what it was.
Hey, and don't
we
mess
can't have a week like last week.
Yeah, and don't mess around and be that defense, man, that can't tackle, because you know how that was, man, especially for us, bro.
Yeah, it's full pads all week.
Yeah,
because apparently we can't tackle.
Hitting fullbacks for 45 minutes. Hitting fullbacks.
Yeah,
Come
it's
on,
9-on-7 right now. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh man. So we're gonna tackle a lot of these questions today. What is the first question that we have up on deck today in terms of
let's get into it.
When you start talking about performance and identity.
So first question came in is, why is it so hard for people to separate who they are from what they do?
It's a great question. When you start looking at identity, so many kids, unfortunately, we live in a world of specialization. So these kids are groomed.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They're groomed, and especially if their parents were high-level performers or professional athletes or collegiate athletes, they were groomed from a young child to, hey, you know what? You played really good. We're going to get you some ice cream, buddy. You know what I'm saying? We're going to get you this. We're going to get you that. Hey, and all the affirmation came from when I was doing good.
Yeah.
So you know what that does to a kid? You know what that does to an athlete? When an athlete's getting all these likes and when an athlete's getting all this attention, it creates this dopamine surge where it's like, you know what? That felt really good. That ice cream tasted really good.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That girl that was giving me no play, was giving me no love, wasn't paying attention to me. Yeah. All of a sudden, you know what I'm saying? She thinks I'm, a good person.
Yeah.
And so what happens is we equate performance with identity from a young age. It's instilled in us.
Oh yeah.
You know how it is. That dude trash.
Oh,
she trash. Oh, what about that? Oh, she's trash.
Man, the amount of time that type of stuff took up in my life is embarrassing.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So people, we categorize each other. We categorize ourselves.
Oh yeah.
From a child.
Oh yeah.
To to identify who we are. And so that's one of the reasons why, without getting too into the weeds, because this is a really powerful subject, that's one of the main reasons why people cannot separate who they are from what they do. We live in a world where we're seeking affirmation from a social media platform.
Oh, yeah.
More people are telling me that they like me behind my cell phone than they do in real life.
Well, not only that, people like you that don't even know you.
Yeah.
So eventually it turns into you're seeking what other people are saying, and you don't even know them.
Don't even know them, dude.
Don't even know them.
Powerful.
Yeah.
That's powerful, man.
Yeah.
What are some of your final thoughts on that, man?
I mean, for me, it's like what you hit on it. I think if your identity is set in something like that, then you need to find a new identity. It's like that, there can be parts of that. I think, we've talked about too, it's like you have to be able to break that up. That can't be the only thing in your identity.
Yeah.
There's got to be separate goals. Like if you want to be if you want, all the football playoffs are going off right now, it's like, if you want to be a better football player, it's like, okay, well, let's make some goals for that. Mm-hmm. But for so many of them, for me, when I played, it was like, that engulfs your whole life.
Yeah.
So there's only one goal.
Yeah.
I gotta be
Yeah.
There is no other goal.
Yeah.
It's
limiting. It's very limiting.
It's very limiting, and so therefore it's very unfulfilling.
Right. It's unfulfilling, and then the last thing that I'll add to that is that it's unhealthy, because check it out.
Yeah.
If you are going to build any type of structure, it has to be on a solid foundation.
Yep.
It has to be on a rock. And so when I build my identity on my performance, that by definition is shaky ground.
Yep.
That by definition changes every single day. That by definition cannot be trusted, because guess what? One day I'm going to be on point. One day I'm not. And so if I build my identity on something that changes, I'm in trouble, man.
Well, then you're talking about, how can you ever guarantee a performance?
Yeah. Yeah.
Built on something like that. But let's jam it in another one though.
Yeah, man.
So Joe, what is your advice, for professionals, whether it's sports or healthcare or sales or whatever it is, right? Who are kind of new to the game, and they're surrounded by veterans.
Surrounded by veterans. Once again, this is Josiah and Derek Divine with All Things Performance. If you're just tuning in, we're taking questions from different people that affect performance. And so that's a great question right there. And it's a question that I love because, you know, we've all heard that term white belt mentality, right? You got to have a white belt mentality, always go into it, you know, being able to learn, being able to be moldable. And one of the things that I will say is this, and we're going to talk about this more later as it relates to imposter syndrome, because that's a big one.
Oh, yeah.
But you always have to be in a position to ask questions.
Yeah.
There are no stupid questions. The only stupid, they say, oh, there's no stupid questions except for the ones you don't ask. Well, my thing is like, you know, I don't think there's a, you know, such a thing as a stupid question. I think that the timing of questions might be questionable. Like if I just show you how to do something and then you ask me, so how do you do this? Well, I just showed you. You know what I'm saying? But what I will say is when you're surrounded by savvy veterans, when you're surrounded by people who are great, by people who are skilled, by artisans of their trade craft, the best thing that you can do is to use all of your mental faculties to pay attention, watch, right? And ask questions.
Yeah.
That's the best thing you can do.
Yeah.
When you're a year one guy or a year one gal coming into a league, into college, into a professional setting, the best thing you can do is go and ask questions, is to watch the veterans, to see how they move, to see how they operate, to see how they watch film. It's not to come in there and think that you're, you know, King Kamehameha sitting on the throne like, oh, yeah, I got this.
Yeah, exactly.
Because talent can only get you so far.
Exactly. I mean, like I look at it this way is outside of like the 1% of like the veteran that we're talking about, those guys want to be asked questions.
Absolutely.
They want to give knowledge. I'm not just talking about sports. I'm talking about you work in a hospital and a doctor's been a doctor for 30 years. Mm-hmm. That guy has knowledge, probably an amount of knowledge that we've talked about before, that he's forgotten.
Yeah.
You know,
he's forgotten
that you
more
don't
than we
even
know. Yeah.
You know, and it's like, that guy wants to educate people. He wants to pass his knowledge on. And I always found that when I entered professional, you know, environments, professional locker rooms, where it's like, that's the number one thing that my dad taught me within athletics. Man, you got to find somebody to follow, find somebody that has something you want and they have it. So if they have it, they know how to get it.
Absolutely.
You know, and so that's, sometimes I think people don't think that way.
Yeah.
If you have something and I want that something, why wouldn't I just ask you how to get it? Why would I sit here and guess?
Yeah.
Or get a textbook, or Google it.
Yeah.
You know, I think at times it's like, or YouTube, or I think at times, sometimes that's beneficial. Mm-hmm. But I also think those platforms are making us dumber. Because you have somebody that's physically doing it every day. Why aren't you asking them that?
That's a great point. Yeah. I mean, you were a journeyman in college. You know, you had a handful of stops.
Yeah.
You were able to, you know, break that ceiling and get into the NFL. You were surrounded by, you know, these type of dudes, you know, Sean Alexander, Hasselbeck, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if was it Matt or Tim that you were around? Matt, you know what I'm saying? You were around these players that were really good. They were really
success.
Smart. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I guarantee you, just knowing who you are, I know that you were asking some questions.
All the time.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's just, and worked on being just a studier of body language. Mm-hmm. You know, I tried to sit back and watch every single thing they did. And if something looked different, I'd ask.
Yeah.
Why'd you go here? Mm-hmm. Why'd you do that? Why'd you throw that? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? What, you know, how do you do this? I mean, it's like, you know, Sean Alexander is a great friend and it was a huge mentor, really took me under his wing. And it's like, there were certain things. It's like, hey, how do you, you're newly married. You know, you got 3 kids, you have all these things. It's like, you're at a different platform of life than I'm at.
Yeah.
I want as much knowledge as I can, so when I reach that platform of life, I can use that.
Yeah. You said something so powerful that I want to reiterate. And if you're listening today, I want you to just soak on this. You said something. People who have wisdom, the irony is that they actually want to give it away.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like it's a sign of respect.
Yeah.
Right. Wisdom. You know, there's a difference. I was on the phone earlier with one of my players, and there's a difference between knowledge, understanding, and wisdom.
Yeah.
Knowledge is simply information.
Yeah.
We all have information.
Yeah.
We all have information. Our kids have information. You know what I'm saying? Then you have understanding, which is comprehension. Like, I know how to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. If I get this piece of bread and this piece of bread, and I put some jam on this one, because I hate jelly, and I put some peanut butter on this one, and I put them together, I have understanding. I comprehend how to make a sandwich.
Exactly.
But if I'm starving in the woods, right, and I'm freaking out, and I'm stressed out, and I'm starting to go crazy, wisdom tells me, yo, Joe, you know how to make a sandwich, right? You got a whole loaf, right? Hey, go ahead and, make you a couple. You know what I'm saying? Chill, eat them. You'll be good for at least another 4 hours. You know what I'm saying? Until some help comes. Exactly. And so many people have knowledge. They think they made it. They have, understanding. They think that they made it, but they don't have wisdom. And it's all around us. The Bible says that wisdom cries out. It actually cries out. People want to give it to us, man. Yeah.
Well, you hit on something too that I want to just circle back really quick and get you kind of some of your advice on this, where it's like the stupid question.
Right.
I think there's a lot of people that are intimidated about asking questions. Mm-hmm. When I'm not talking, because a lot of people are, if they aren't every day, have been before or will be, where you're in an environment where it's very competitive. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people try to hold that knowledge, because if you learn it, you're going to be better than me, and I'm going to lose my position. Yeah. Or I'm going to lose that promotion, or I'm going to lose that sale because they're going to like you more. I'm not talking about that person. Yeah. Because that's the 1%. Yeah. And so like, how do you recognize that? That's that guy. Let's take that, shift that out. Yeah. But here's the other 99% of the world that has something they want to help. Yeah. How do you know, or do you got any advice on how to find that?
See, some of the big homies would say that the game is to be sold. You know what I'm saying? Not told. You know what I'm saying? Oh, yeah. So it's just like, if I give you that information,
I'm going to lose my spot.
I'm losing my spot. Yeah. Dude, it's so competitive, man.
Like, that's what it was. The higher up I would go in athletics, that's what it was. Yeah. Yeah. So don't tell him that. Yeah. Man. Don't tell him that.
But you know what, though? You got to ask questions. And if you seek, you will find. If you knock, the door will be open. You know what I'm saying? Like you have to seek. Look, listen to this. So if you read the New Testament, if you guys, read your Bible, or if you've ever read the Bible in the New Testament, there is this very esteemed and educated man by the name of Nicodemus. Mm-hmm. Very smart dude, man. He ranked high up there.
They need to bring that name back.
Nico. Yo, Nico. Hey, I know. I had a player named Nico in college.
Did you really?
Yeah, his name was Nico. He was one of our catchers. Shout out. Right. Shout out, Nico. Shout out, baby. You know what I'm saying? I think we're friends on Instagram or something like that. Shout out, Nico. Yeah. So Nicodemus, this dude was smart. Yeah. But he didn't want to be seen during the day asking questions. So you know what he did? Yeah. He still wanted to know. Yeah, because inquiring minds want to know. So he came at night.
Yeah, we still need to work on Nicodemus' identity.
You know what I'm saying?
But we're all right.
Yeah, okay. But it's just like, yo, Jesus, you need to break this down, because I'm not understanding this. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But what did he do? He still asked. Yeah, he still asked. Yeah. Man, asking questions is a matter of pride, man.
And that's asking questions to an intimidating source from where he's coming from.
Yeah, no doubt. You know, because he was contrarian. Yeah. Jesus was contrarian to the Jews during that time, because he was just breaking tradition.
So it's like,
don't be afraid. My final answer is, don't be afraid, man. Ask, man. Ask. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
That's good. That's good. I like that.
Yeah. Once again, we're here, All Things Performance Podcast. We're answering questions as it relates to performance and identity. I'm joined with my good friend, Derek Devine. Derek, what we got, man? What's the next question, you know what I'm saying, on the docket today, man?
Okay, well, we kind of, we hit on just the question side of things. So this is going to be another one that's going to go right into this. So we've talked a little bit. We're going to hit way more into it as the future comes, but like different stages of learning.
Oh, yeah, man.
We've talked about that a lot, and we need to kind of hit on that, and like, how do you embrace those stages? Because what we see a lot of times is people want to rush a stage of learning. Right. Like you're talking about white belt mentality. Mm-hmm. Don't want to stay there long. Yeah. I want to get rid of this, get on to the next color. Mm-hmm. But we need want your expertise on that.
Yeah, absolutely. So when we look at the overarching theme of today, right? Performance and identity, what I'm doing, how I'm executing my trade craft. Yeah. How does that have to deal with my identity, who I am? Yeah. And one of the first things that we have to realize and understand is you have to be honest with where you are. Yeah. You have to be honest with where you are. If you're a rookie, you're a rookie. You know what I'm saying? You're a rookie. That's it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you an old man or old woman, you an old man or old woman. You know what I'm saying? Or you can just say older. You know, my wife tries to get at me. Oh, you getting old? I said, no, I'm not old. I'm just older. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm with that.
And so you got to understand like where you are,
Yeah.
and you have to understand that. You know what? This cat right here, he's been in the game for 10 years.
Yeah.
This person's been in the game for 30.
Yeah. You're not supposed to know what they know.
You know what I'm saying? You're not supposed to know what they know.
Yeah.
Their learning curve is much more advanced than I am. And I think, again, a lot of these things come down to pride. We have to understand where we are. So one of the models that I absolutely love is Fitz and Posner, 1967, the stages of learning. Yeah. And I'm just going to break it down really quickly. The first stage is what we call the cognitive stage. So if you can imagine a little 5-year-old kid bouncing a basketball, I'm going to ask you a question. How many eyes and hands and how many eyeballs and hands is that kid using to bounce that basketball?
Everything he's got.
Everything he's got.
Yeah.
He's using or she's using all of their cognitive horsepower to make sure that ball is just bouncing up and down. They don't care. They don't care about defense.
Just double dribbling.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes, yeah.
You know, double dribble. You know what I'm saying? They don't care about their friends next to them. They don't care about the coach. They are using everything that they can to make sure that ball bounces. And when we learn a position, when we're learning something new for the first time, that's exactly what we look like. We look like that little kid bouncing a basketball. Yeah. We're using all of our cognitive horsepower to make sure that thing keeps going.
Yeah.
And so the next stage is what we call the associative stage, which associative sounds like what?
Like the association?
Association, right? Yeah. Your mind is making associations with your body. So now that little kid is now in high school. He's dribbling the ball forward, backward. She's going through her legs. You know what I'm saying? Defender's coming from my right. I'm going to switch the ball to my left. I'm associating my thought patterns and what I want to do with what my body's going to do. Yeah. So now I'm in a different stage. Those things I was doing as a 5-year-old, I no longer do them because I can use my brain to do other things, right? Yeah. And then what they came to the culmination with was what they call the autonomic stage, which sounds like what?
Just automatic.
Automatic.
Yeah.
So in this stage, I'm doing things automatically. Yeah. I'm not even giving I'm not thinking about it. Yeah. Right? So now that kid is Michael Jordan, right? Yeah. That Michael Jordan's moving without the ball. He has spatial recognition. He's throwing up alley-oops. He's shooting free throws with his eyes closed, Mutombo. You know what I'm saying? Like literally doing things. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Literally doing things without thinking about them too deeply because now I can use that cognitive horsepower to be creative, to jump from the free throw line, to go be, you know what I'm saying, do these masterful plays. And very few people, Derek, reach that stage. Yeah. And you don't reach that stage without first getting to the stage beforehand. And in order to do that effectively, we have to know who we are and where we are in that deal. And so if you're a first year person, if you're a fifth year person, know where you are. Augment your skills, ask questions, study to show yourself approved. You know what I'm saying? And keep growing, man.
Yeah. I mean, the only thing I would hit on that is sometimes I think we as individuals, we as people, where we talked about kind of, the ego side of things, the pride side of things. I know that I've found a ton of success having people within my life that can always keep me in reality. Yeah. Because I think at times, I like to call it, we get caught in this matrix where it's just, or it's like that movie Total Recall, where you don't even know what world's even what. You don't even know what's even reality. And it's like I've always had success with people in my life, like, whoa, hey, you ain't supposed to be there yet. Yeah. Remember year one? Mm-hmm. Remember you've only been doing this for 2 years? Yeah. I mean, we've talked, you've talked a little bit to me about like the 10,000 hour rule and, and becoming a master at something. And it's like, sometimes I think, we can, you can, cut that and speed that up. And we've talked about that as well. But there's also got to be a reality of, hey, you know what? This is going to just take some commitment. Yeah. Yeah. And this is going to take me living reality and understanding, hey, this is going to just take some hard work and it's going to take a little while. Yeah. Which I think a lot of people, like you're talking that beginning stage, given the example of a 5-year-old with a basketball. Yeah, but how do you keep that type of perspective when you're 30 and you just started something? Yeah, discipline. Discipline, man. I mean, Mike Tyson, as talented as Mike Tyson, I was just talking about this earlier, man.
Mike Tyson, as talented as he was disciplined.
Oh, yeah.
And he would even come out and say in interviews like, yo, he goes, if you don't have discipline, you have nothing.
Yeah.
And we know that he made some decisions and he did some stuff off the wall outside the ring. But man, Cus D'Amato and those that were surrounding him, you know what I'm saying? There was a level of
that.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
And if you look at like a side by side with him when he was 19, champion of the world, and him now, like his body, buddy looks the same, bro.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I remember there was, because I like Mike Tyson. We're gonna have him on in the future. By the way.
Yeah. Let's go, Mike.
But for me, it was like you would see Cus D'Amato would be telling him like, "Hey, if you keep doing this, you're gonna be world champ one day." Mm-hmm. And so again, it's just him saying like, "Hey, we're gonna live today though.
Yeah,
hey, that's potentially the future, but we ain't in the future." Mm-hmm. And I think sometimes we get caught wanting that. You know, when to get that, we need this right here.
Yeah.
Which is dribbling a basketball with two hands.
And that's man, that it goes hand in hand with what we're talking about, identity, man. We got to know ourselves, man. You got to know who you are. You have to know, what your surrounding is, and you just have to be like you said, like what you said about you have to surround yourself with people that are gonna help you, that are gonna hold you accountable. Yeah, and they're gonna help you grow, man.
Yeah, accountability is everything with that, man.
Yeah.
Okay, so moving on, man. What are some healthy ways to disengage from our trade, from our profession, from this stuff we've been really hitting on today?
Yeah. So, many of you watching this, or you guys are athletes, you're high level performers, you're in, high stress, high stakes situations. Yeah. And there are several different ways that you can engage or disengage. You know what I'm saying?
Leaving work at work.
Right. Leaving work at work. There are some people who, unfortunately, they have to take some work with them. They have to take their work cell phone with them. Yeah. But one of the things that I would say is, and I've said this multiple times before, is that and I heard this at a seminar several years ago, and it always stuck with me. And it said that, the speaker said that if your output is greater than your intake, then your upkeep will be your downfall.
Okay.
I'm going to say that. I'm going to say it again. If your output is greater than your intake, then your upkeep will be your downfall. If I'm giving, running, flying, lifting weights, going hard, burning candles on both ends. Yeah. If I'm doing that, if my output is greater than what I'm putting in, my sleep, my hydration, my spiritual practices, mental health, healthy. I had a professional athlete that I worked with, several years ago. He said, Josiah, I believe in healthy distractions.
Okay, give us.
And I was just like, man, I like that. Yeah. He goes, you know what? Before game day, just going on a walk with my family. Going on the walk.
That's a healthy distraction.
That's a healthy distraction. Yeah. Right. I'm with my family. I don't have to necessarily be anywhere. Right. I'm just soaking it in, and I'm filling my time with being with my family and being present.
That's good.
Right? Yeah, so for some people, it might be yoga, it might be mindfulness, it might be prayer, it might be getting into your scriptures, your holy scriptures. It might be meditation. Yeah. It might be going on a walk. Man, you know that simply going outside, we should do a whole podcast on this, dude. Simply going outside, simply being around green trees and nature helps with your health and well-being. Wow. Simply doing that.
You didn't even think that, what I mean? Like when what most driven people would say is, oh, that's just taken away from my production.
Nah, man.
That's the thing. That's good right there.
Yeah. So you guys are going to meet our audience, you all out there, you're going to meet Andy Clower at one point here. Andy Clower is one of the smartest people I know. And one of the questions I asked him, he is a neuromechanic, so he's like an applied functional neurology professional. That's a mouthful, bro. Yeah. This guy said that one of the most powerful things that you can do for your brain, for brain health, is walking. He said simply just getting out and walking is one of the most powerful things you can do for brain health. Yeah. And it's so true.
Well, like you think about like a workout enthusiast, walking waste of time.
Yeah.
We ain't getting no work done.
Yeah, nah, man. Yeah. Nah.
How's that working on my conditioning? That's good.
So when you disengage, man, for your, think of, I love the biopsychosocial model, so biology, the things that I'm doing for my body, sleep, nutrition, hydration.
Yeah.
If I need to take medicine,
Yeah.
I'm taking my medicine. Things I do for my mind, right? Reading, playing music, listening to music, mindfulness, again, meditation,
Yeah.
visualization. One of the things that I love about the word meditation, a lot of people get the word meditation twisted.
Yeah.
Because when you look at the Bible, meditation is actually referring to the original Hebrew word is actually referring to a cow, right? A cow has 4 stomachs. Human beings only have 1. So, have you ever seen a cow when it's chewing something?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
It's like they're always eating, right?
Yeah.
And so that cud, that chewing that they're doing, they're like almost chewing it, swallowing it, spitting it up, and they're continuing to dwell upon that grass, that hay, whatever it is that they're eating, and they're chewing it, they're meditating on it. That's what that word means.
Yeah.
And so when you start looking at whether it's a positive thought, whether it's a Bible verse, whether it's a vision that you have for your life or for the life of your family, when you sit there and you meditate on it, that's what it means. It means this constant dwelling upon, this constant thinking upon. The Bible says that we should meditate on the word day and night, and then we will have good success.
Yeah.
Right. And so when you start talking about what can we do for our bodies, what can we do for our minds to disengage, the biology, the psychology, and then the social, right? Your environment, like you said. Who are you around? Show me your friends. I'll show you your future. Do you have places in your home where you can kind of walk to and get away and to read and to be quiet? Do you have quiet zones? Do you have healthy relationships? You know what I'm saying? With your wife, with your husband, your spouse, your children, whoever it is in your family, are those healthy?
Yeah.
And so when all of those are healthy, I call them buckets. When all those buckets are healthy, guess what? Our inputs, our intake
that's good.
becomes high. And when game day comes, right, when I have to perform, my outputs are going to be nothing. Because when your outputs are greater than your intake, your upkeep will be your downfall.
Well, and how does somebody even, get to the thought process or even the action of, where the truth is, more production can come from just disengaging.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
Kind of trippy, man. It's that's against the flow of traffic right there.
Oh my goodness, man.
That's good.
Do you want to be chopping trees down all day, or do you want to take some time and sharpen that axe to chop even more down?
Yeah, that one.
You know what I'm saying?
Drop that one.
You know what I'm saying?
That's legit. Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna get into one that might stir the pot a little bit.
Yeah, man.
Okay, so how has social media changed our identity, our relationships, our perception, maybe even our self-worth? What do you got on this?
That's a great question, man.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where social media as a platform, it's a tool, right? It's like, it's emotionless. It's like a tool. It's like money.
Yeah.
Money can be used for evil. It can be used for good. Knowledge can be used for evil. It can be used for good. Greed, selfishness, benevolence, whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
The problem with social media, man, is that social media, allows people to create reality. Right? It allows people to create reality. Where the irony is that reality is reality. You know what I mean? Like reality is reality.
Yeah.
So
I got a filter for that.
Yeah, exactly. With the filters and with the highlights. I think it was Lecrae. Lecrae had posted something on his social media. I think it was his Twitter, and I don't know if it was his post or he was retweeting somebody else, and it was crazy, dude. It said, Facebook makes me hate conservatives, Twitter makes me hate liberals, and Instagram makes me hate myself and my life. Bruh, it's funny, but it's terrible.
It's true.
But it's so true.
Yeah, you talk about like highlights, right?
Yeah.
Like I don't know what coach said this. It was a long time ago, but I remember, because the biggest thing when you're trying to get recruited or seen or, oh man, let me see your highlight tape.
Right.
Let's see what you can do.
Right.
And I remember as a coach one time was like, no, I don't care about your highlight tape. I want to see, give me your 2 worst losses.
Yeah.
And I want to see how you played in those.
Oh, shoot,
I want to
there you
see
go.
your body language in those.
Yeah.
I want to see how well you commanded the huddle. I want to see how well you engaged with your teammates.
Yeah.
I want to see how well you sat there and went back and forth with the defense and everybody on the sideline. Let me get your worst games.
Yeah.
Because that's how I want, that's what I'm going to recruit. And I think, that's the thing is like with Instagram, it's your highlight tape.
Highlight film.
Nobody gets to see,
Even all of them are
the
really
struggle.
all of them are really, man. And it's again, there's
Yeah.
nothing inherently wrong, but what has happened is we've created these this smoke and mirrors, these veneers, these blockades, and like, hey man,
Yeah.
this is who we are.
Yeah.
And it sucks because it's kind of like a double-edged sword, because if I don't know who you are, right,
Yeah.
and I know that you're going to be a guest speaker at my organization, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to Google you, bro.
Yeah.
I'm going to find out who the heck is this cat. I'm going to look
Yeah.
at your social media. When you're getting a job interview, you know what those cats are doing? They're going through all of your stuff.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, yo, man, nah, this cat is no. Hey, no,
Next.
no, stop and don't. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And so it's like,
Yeah.
it's like this double-edged sword that we've created, this society has created, and we have to live in it, dude.
Yeah. So true.
So
Yeah.
so what's the answer? What's the answer? The answer is you need to be true to yourself.
Yeah.
The answer is you cannot run away from yourself. The answer is that you were created for a purpose and you have value. You are necessary regardless of what anybody says or what anybody thinks. And then when you live in that and you believe that, it totally changes the way that you view social media. Because we don't need to be seeking affirmations from people because we are affirmed. We don't need to be seeking to be treated special from somebody because you are already special.
Yeah.
We don't need to be seeking to prove anything to anybody because there is only one of you that has ever existed in the history of mankind, and only one of you who will exist ever in the future,
good.
and that's you. You know what I'm
that's
saying?
good.
So we just gotta we have to recalibrate. You know what I mean? Recalibrate.
I mean, the only thing I would add to that too is really along the lines of what you're saying is, you got to be careful who you're evaluating yourself upon.
Yeah.
What opinions you're taking in. A lot of people looking for just the likes and the notoriety, and it's like, man, be really careful who you're evaluating yourself. What opinions you're doing
Absolutely,
that with,
man.
is
Absolutely.
what I would say on that. Okay, so then we're gonna kind of get into the last question we got on the docket here. Is
These are great questions. by the way.
how can we find our purpose and stand strong in that?
How can you find your purpose?
Yeah,
It goes off of what I just said.
yeah,
You got to know who you are.
yeah. That's good.
You have to know who you are. You have to know why you were created. And once you do, you gain this, you garner this boldness that you've never had before. I'm going to ask you a question, Derek. But before I do that, I want to make sure that we remind everybody again that All Things Performance, we're in season 3. If you have any questions as it relates to human performance, cultural mindset, continuous improvement, send those in. We'd love to answer those and pull and ask our experts that we're going to have on the show as well. So thank you for that. One of the things that I would say is that if you had an Acura, right? Mm-hmm. I don't even know if they make Acuras anymore. But if you had an Acura, and your Acura was acting up, and it wasn't driving the same, it wasn't buttery anymore. You know what I'm saying? Where would you? What's the best place to take that Acura? Dealership. Why? Why?
Well, because you've talked to me about this numerous times. Because they know everything about it. They made it.
There you go.
They're not going to ask you anything.
There you go. There's no second guessing.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, it's a 2008. Okay, cool. Oh, it's a
We got
legend.
the book on
Oh,
that.
yeah, we wrote the book on it.
Yeah.
We got the book on it. And by the way, it's you're having some problems with your let's call it a catalytic converter. I don't know if Acuras have catalytic converters, you know what I'm saying? But whatever the case may be, they know the answer.
Yeah,
And so many times, what do we do when we have issues? We try to go to shortcut. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go and seek
My
this.
boy down here,
Yeah.
he works out,
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And we
Yeah.
do that. We do that in life, though.
Oh, yeah.
We go to we have these relationships that we shouldn't be having. We try to fill it with this.
Yeah.
We try to fill it with that. That doesn't work, so I'm gonna hop over here, and I'm still miserable. I have everything I want. I'm still miserable.
Yeah.
I got everybody calling my name, shouting my name, but I'm still miserable.
Yeah.
And we're running.
Something's missing. Yeah.
We're running from the Creator.
Yeah.
We're running from the one who made us.
Yeah, that's
and I posit to you today, and I share with the audience today, is like, man, if you really want to know your identity, if you really want to know your purpose, you have to go to the one that made you.
Yeah, that's good.
And we all have something special that is like, irrevocable. No one can take it away from you.
Yeah.
And we have to live in that, man, because that's where, and when we know what that is and we stand in that, that's where your power comes from. You know, when that lion roars, the lion, man, he knows who he is.
Yeah.
He's the king of the jungle. When the eagle soars, the eagle knows who he is. The fish know who they are. Like, once you know who you are, guess what? If I'm a fish, don't tell me to go to fish school.
Yeah.
Because it's already in me.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm gonna get better, but it's in me because I know who made me. I know where I'm going, and I know what you know what I'm saying? I know my purpose. And when you know your purpose, man, it gives you such boldness, man.
And there's and we have to be careful too, because there's so much stuff nowadays, so many environments that you just have to be in because it's just what is now that tries to pull you out of that mindset.
Yeah.
You know, and again, it's like you couldn't have said any better. I think it just goes back to as well, like you hit on a little earlier. It's like, who are you around? Mm-hmm. You know, you need to be around people that are going to be pushing you towards that.
No doubt. Hey, show me your friends, I'll show you your future.
Yeah, that's the
truth,
man.
A wise man hangs around wise people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The way all the sayings, bro, like hang around 4 broke people, you'll be the 5th. You know what I'm saying? It's like, you know, if you're an athlete, you keep, you know what I mean?
That Panda Express's little,
and the fortune cookie, bro.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
For sure.
It's like, you know, if you're an athlete, you keep on chirping back to those fans. Before you know it, you're going to be sitting right up there with them. You know what I mean? Like, you just keep rolling them out, man. But at the end of the day, it's true. You know, there's truth to it, man. So yeah, man, what are some of your thoughts, man, as we close, you know, as it relates to performance, as it relates to identity, understanding who we are? What are some of your thoughts, man, as we close?
Well, I thought we hit on some really good stuff. You know, that's what I would say was one of my biggest downfalls, is not being able to separate the performance side from the Derek side. Mm-hmm. You know, and it's like being able to truly put that down and compartmentalize it, and hey, that's work. Mm-hmm. Now we ain't working right now. We're doing this. That's what I would say, is finding the ability to do that. I think provides you just endless success.
Yeah,
if you can do that.
Yeah, because
you can use that in so many areas of life too.
Yeah,
you know, and so you know, I find myself distracted at times, and it's like, man, and then it's nighttime again, and it's like, man, you know what? Did I give my kids everything I could have given them today? Mm-hmm. You know, did I focus and spend time? You know what I mean? There's just so many things. It's like, so being able to compartmentalize and put that down, and hey, that's not for today. You know, that's what I would say is something I'm working on still to this day. And I think it provides, you know, an immeasurable amount of success.
Yeah. That's awesome, man.
What about you?
Yeah, at the end of the day, man, like I just want to encourage everybody out there, and those are some powerful words, you know, and you said something, you said the C word, bro, compartmentalization. We're going to be talking more about that. And at the end of the day, I would just encourage everybody to know that you are special. Go and find out your purpose. Yeah. Like that should be your mission, is to find out your purpose. And you know why? This is why. Because once you know who you are, your make and model number and what you're supposed to do, man, it's going to just energize the heck out of you. Yeah. It's going to energize you to no end. Yeah. And it's going to allow you to fly. And when you do that, man, that's when the game changes. So God bless you guys. Thank you so much. Follow us on All Things Performance, you know, on all the different social media channels. Josiah Igano on Twitter, Josiah Igano on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. I already said Twitter. That's twice. My Twitter game is weak right now, bro. But you know what I'm saying? We just want to make sure we put that out there so that you guys can ask questions, engage with us. Derek, where can we find you, man?
I just got Twitter, J Derek Divine. Same on Instagram. So hit us up. We want to involve people in this podcast, man. We want to be able to get to as many people as we can, help as many people as we can, and keep moving this forward.
Absolutely, man. Yeah. Absolutely, man. God bless you guys, and we'll talk to you soon.